your horror movie podcast.
What is up, Justin, dude? Welcome back. Welcome back, Hackstab Slash. It's been a minute. Well, for us, anyways, because we pre-recorded a fuck ton of shit to get us through Christmas at the post office. And we haven't released in about 2 weeks. So we've had quite the little baby hiatus, if you will. So I think it's safe to say we can call this season 3.
This is welcome to season 3, and we are back. So excited to be back. Also, welcome to 2025. This is the new year, first one. If anyone hears me, I've been battling sickness. Both of us have been on and off sick, so battling through that. But I'm sucking it up because we're talking about Zombeavers from 2014, and I'm so excited about this. I don't know if you've ever seen this or not.
I've never seen this, so this is a new year, a new movie, and this is a new season. So I'm ready to fucking dive into this, bro. You want to kick us off with a dad joke?
I don't know if I have any prepared. And honestly, every time I say these, I've been getting like booed out of the building.
I tell you, bro, I hit 10 out of 10 when I used your New Year's resolution one.
Dude, all right, so I want to talk about this real fast, just to the pod. So I've been doing like dad jokes on all my other like platforms, and I do them at work. I say them to front of every single person at work, even in like the most awkward moments. I am bombing so bad, but yet people like Sean, I have so many other people telling me they're secretly stealing these jokes, and they're telling me they're doing it, and people are they're killing. I have people literally like messaging me on TikTok saying, "Oh my God, I'm crushing it with your jokes. These are so good." But yet when I say them, nobody laughs at me.
I knew this was gonna happen. I've told you I use all your dad jokes out on my route, and I test them out.
Yeah.
And at every stop, I do like a different type of line delivery. And your New Year's resolution one, you made it too much of a joke, and you should have delivered it as casual conversation. Because whenever I did it as casual conversation, I always caught them off guard, and they always started dying laughing at the end.
I think that is my problem, my delivery. I'll like hit someone. I'll literally be like, "Hey, let me try this out." And I'll like hit them, and then I like panic and forget what I'm going to say. And then I make it so awkward, but I don't quit. I still keep going. And then by the end of it, it's like, dear God, Justin. But hey, maybe I'll try to get better in the new year.
All right, Justin, did you know when Chuck Norris walks into a room, he doesn't turn on the lights, he shuts off the dark?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yes.
All right, Zombeavers, you want to tell me why you picked this monstrosity?
So I love ridiculous, over the top, like comedy horror movies that are just stupid, especially with creatures like this. Love it so much. I remember when I saw this when it first came out, and I was so excited for it. And I'm not gonna lie, the first like couple 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna be good or not. It just felt almost a little forced. And then it gets going and it gets so ridiculous. And just the fact that they're friggin' beavers that turn into zombies. I mean, do I even need to say anything else? We're talking about friggin' Zombeavers. I mean, who doesn't want to watch Zombeavers?
So, like I said, I'd never seen this before, and I was expected, based off your hype, just absolute B-movie gold.
Yes.
So we open, and we see a couple of drivers transporting some toxic waste, Justin. And right off this rip, I'm fully invested in this movie because we meet Joseph and we meet Luke. And these two guys are played by John Mayer. You heard that right. The singer, John Mayer. And fucking Bill Burr. Dude, Bill Burr is comedic royalty. I love everything Bill Burr touches.
And he's from our state. Let's go.
These two are just chatting about life and all the shit that comes with it, like pun intended. Apparently, Luke just is like, I can't take a shit at my friend's house no more. And Joseph's just, why? It's literally what it's made for. It's made to take a shit. It's not like you shit on his table or something. And he goes, well, I shit on his table too. Like the conversation between these guys
stupid.
is just, I am so here for it. And then you hear Luke just go, hey, you see that deer? And he's like, yeah, I see the deer. And he's got a cell phone in front of him, texting like a boomer. And he goes, I don't think you see that deer. And he fucking slams into it, dude. Deer's kaput. And we see the back of this truck, and it is loaded with these canisters. And it is so cheesy and so good that the strap doesn't break, Justin, and these canisters don't go everywhere. One doesn't fall out at the back casually. No, one from the dead center of the truck that should be the most secure shoots straight up out of the back like you just dropped a Mentos into a Diet Coke.
Yeah, it's like a missile.
Yeah. And he gets out and he checks on this deer and he comes back and he's like, I don't think he's going to make it. And then he goes, well, did you check the back? Like acting concerned. This motherfucker turns his head and looks in the mirror, like in the rear window of the pickup truck where you can't see anything. And he goes, "Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Let's just drive." So they drive over the deer, Justin. No fucks given. Just
No.
run it over into opening credits. Justin, these opening credits.
I was gonna say I actually wrote one quick note. I was just gonna say like the ridiculous music that is playing during these opening credits and the insane beaver animation evil
Dude,
looking
it's
beaver
like
popping up.
cartoon laid over
It,
reality.
it is I love it like oh my God. Like please people go watch this movie. If you just like fun in life and want to have a good time, go watch Zombeavers.
And then we meet Jen, dude. She's crying on a shitter. Never mind. She needs more fiber in her diet because she's actually crying over a cheating boyfriend in a men's restroom at a truck stop, which is no place to be doing this at all. The girls decide we meet all three of them. They're right behind Justin. They're driving in a car. They're having a weekend getaway at Mary's cousin's lake house to help Jen get over her shitty relationship problems. The banter between these girls is just as uncanny as the fucking opening scene. We get one part where Zoe goes, "I'm only missing about 6 inches. Hey, is there electricity there?" And Mary goes, "Why? Do you need a place to plug in your vibrator?"
Just all talk like that. Just picture that just going on throughout like the whole movie. It's just ridiculously
We are
stupid.
12 minutes into this movie, Justin, and it is just nonstop. I'm so here for this. I needed this to start off my New Year's. There's a kid now, and he's out fishing at the lake, and he's got a number one dad hat on. And this is like the sticks. This is Hicksville. So I don't know if he stole his dad's hat or if this young man is actually a dad. I don't know what's going on, but he loses his rod into the lake. And as he's searching for it, half-assedly, I might add, he gets jumped from something in the woods. What could it be? I hope it's not Master Shredder killing innocent kids looking for his lost canister of ooze.
Well, secret of the ooze. Let's go.
Let's go. These girls now arrive at the cabin. And Justin, thank you so much for introducing me to Mrs. Gregerson.
I knew it.
She shows up to say hi. And there's so much awkward sex talk between her and the three girls.
Hey, can I just say before you even go on, I already knew. I'm like, Sean's gonna love this. Just like all the conversation in this movie. I'm like, Sean is gonna have the best time ever just during this open. Just how ridiculous this is.
Dude,
I knew
it's
you were
so
gonna
ridiculous.
love it. I knew you were gonna love it.
Because you think it's gonna get awkward, and Miss Gregerson's gonna be like, "All right, I want nothing to do with you girls." Because Zoe's even like, "Yeah, we're up here to have crazy sex, but someone's boyfriend." And then she's like, "I'm just kidding. We've never had sex ever." And Mary goes to apologize because they are neighbors. And Mrs. Gregerson goes, "It's okay, Mary. My daughter's a total fucking bitch, too. A real whore. Sometimes she brings people home, and I don't even know what sex they are. And I'm not saying anything negative about them. I'm a very, very liberal woman. But my daughter's a real piece of work and not that attractive." I could just, what the fuck am I watching right now? This is one hell of a start. Zoe and Jen both wheel off to the bathroom. And they're trying to text their significant others, one of them being that shitty boyfriend and the other one just being a boyfriend. And they're met with zero cell service and they have an absolute meltdown. But what better way to cool off than to go for a swim? And Zoe's a true rebel because we see our first pair of titties. No tan lines for Zoe. Yeah, let's go.
You're welcome.
Woo! Yeah, thank you so much. That's the second time I've seen her titties in like a month. Shout out to Silent Night.
Oh my God.
The girls now go for a swim, but they decide they want to head towards a beaver dam and they want to see a beaver. How? How do they not see this gigantic fucking canister that has been spraying lime green liquid that fucking glows in the daylight all over these dams? How do you miss this giant canister dead in the middle? I mean, easily missed though, because they get scared by a fucking bear, and it's quickly, that bear is then quickly scared off by a shotgun blast by some dude named Smith with a Y, in case any of y'all girls ever need to write me a check. What a way to introduce yourself.
Insane. Absolutely insane.
I guess that's like a fancy way of pronouncing your name, kind of like when Joe Dirt called himself Joe Dirte.
Yes.
That's all I can think about.
No,
my name's Joe Dirte.
Yep. Smith with a Y.
So after Smith with the Y creeps these girls out, telling them to get dressed and stop showing off their stomachs and their preposterous tattoos all over their bodies and stuff. There's good folk around this neighborhood, church going folk, if you catch my drift. We see Zoe and the girls. They decide they're going to have some popcorn, call it a night, relax, have some banter. They decide to play Would You Rather. And one of the questions Zoe pops up and would you rather watch your dad kill your mom or get raped by your dad while your mom watches? Justin?
Yeah, I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
You know who does touch it is fucking Jen. And she goes, well, I guess I'd rather my dad rape me while my mom watches. And both the girls are like, ew, you're fucking sick.
Oh my
What's
God.
wrong with you? And she's like, well, do you want your mom to die? And they're like, no, but you choose neither. That's disgusting. And then one of them chimes in and goes, well, I mean, your dad is kind of hot. So, like, there's that.
Movie's ridiculous.
And then we just start hearing some pounding going away on this fucking cabin. And right here, I'm like, oh, shit's about to get real. Like, it's about to kick the fuck off. And Zoe, dude, I love Zoe. She's such a rebel, like carefree spirit in this movie.
Yes.
She opens the door with a beer in her hand, no protection at all, walks right outside to go investigate. And she goes, hey, serial killers, we've got 3 hot babes in here who haven't had sex in a really long time. Like, what are you doing? And then a stranger comes out of the woods and he starts charging at the cabin, freaking these girls out. And you know what he does, Justin?
What's he do?
He farts on them. Because it's not a stranger. It's Tommy, Mary's boyfriend. And he's back and he's got Buck, Zoe's boyfriend. And then we meet the cheating prick Sam coming out of the door. Bro, I love this banter so much between all of them. Buck, they're begging to stay, and Buck just goes, Mary, I haven't had sex in 36 hours. You know when your foot's asleep? Well, my dick's asleep, and I got to wake it up. And then you hear Zoe in the background, I have to wake up that dick. Wake that dick up, baby. I will. I can't even feel it. Mary, please, my dick's asleep. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I already knew. I'm like, this is going to be Sean's favorite movie.
I love this so much. Dude, thank you again. I can't say thank you enough. Like, if you're still listening welcome. And you're following along, go watch this now. The whole group heads inside. Mary and Tommy are having some coitus, and Buck now has put on a fluffy hunting hat, and he's smashing Zoe from behind to what might be my favorite sex scene line in horror movie history. He is hitting it from behind, and he just goes, oh, I feel like a Power Ranger. Oh, shit, you're so sweet. You're way too fucking hot for me.
Oh, my God.
Like, and then that just leaves Sam and Jen sitting on the couch, and they're bickering back and forth. And Sam finally breaks through, and he starts kissing on Jen like he's finally going to get some. And at this point, I'm like, Jen, no. And then Jen meets his balls with the kneecap. Let's fucking go, Jen, dude. Fuck this dude.
Seriously.
So pumped that she turned the tables on him and just kneed him right in the balls. Walked away. Then Jen goes in for a shower scene, only to be met with some wet beaver of her own. This thing looks wild and it looks rabid, Justin, and I fucking love it.
Dude, I was already loving, like, the first time I saw this movie. I've seen it a handful of times now, but the first time I loved it. I like this, like you said, it's already bonkers, like, but it's more just funny bonkers. But like, yeah, when all of a sudden you see this thing, how it just gets this movie's already at like such a crazy point. You don't think it's gonna get crazier, and it just goes from this moment on. It just skyrockets to insanity. Like, I love it so much,
dude. It's not even like we're sugarcoating that it looks insane. It is a beaver. Beavers run on their feet. When this thing starts chasing her, it is fully platypused out.
Yes,
its legs aren't doing any of the work. It's like it's got little legs, like the nipples on its core muscle. The thing's like scurrying across the floor. It's like slithering after them.
It's so good.
The group now goes to investigate. Sam leading the way, bitches out with a baseball bat. So Tommy takes the lead. And when they don't see anything, Buck just walks right into the bathroom and he starts mocking Jen. Justin, I love Buck so much because the first thing he does is he walks in, looks at the toilet, turns around to me. He's like, be honest, Jen. Did you shit in here? And just as he says it, dude, a beaver jumps out of the closet and Tommy beats this thing to death. Dude, I can't with this dialogue. They're all out in the living room now, and they're talking about if it's rabid, if it's not. And Buck goes, I've never seen a beaver before, so I would know. And his girlfriend immediately responds with, maybe if you went down on me more, you'd know. Like, dude, nonstop. This is
Dude,
nonstop.
is this video like? Are we even gonna get views on YouTube in this? Like, are we allowed to say and talk about all the stuff we've talked about in this episode?
I have no idea.
I don't
The
either.
algorithm is gonna hate us.
This episode is not gonna go well.
And I can't stop with what's going on because during that scene, Jen's like, I want to leave. And Mary goes, listen, guys, we're all just upset and drunk. And then Buck immediately cuts her off when she's like, we're all just upset and drunk and horny. 6'3", but that's just me. Like it's nonstop from front to back. They decide, all right, enough is enough, guys. Let's just sleep on it. We'll make some decisions in the morning. So they decide right when they wake up, actually, let me back up. Let me back up a second because I missed another favorite part of this movie. So when they decide they're going to sleep on this, Justin.
Yep. Okay.
They're like, all right, let's go to bed. The only one that has a game plan to get through the night is Buck.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what his game plan is, Justin?
Let's tell him what the game plan is, Sean.
He says, hey, guys, we could all die tonight. You've seen that thing in there. I think we should have an orgy. And not just like any regular orgy, but like a safety orgy. Like they used to do back in the Wild West days when they would have like, wagons and trails and they would go down the Oregon place. And I think we should all just get together and have one big orgy and just stay together, for safety, This dude Buck is on a whole nother level.
Whole new level.
So the next morning, our bloody beaver is gone and they chalk it up to something in the woods, smelt the kill and just came and ate it. They brush it off, dude, and they decide to go for a dip in the lake. And the beaverisms continue. We get Jen. Tommy killed that beaver for us. Buck chimes in. Yeah, sorry, Sam didn't kill anything because that'd be the only beaver he's getting this weekend. Then Jen chimes in. Can we please stop with the beaver jokes? And you hear Buck in the distance go, why did the beaver cross the road? Like it doesn't end.
That one killed me when he yelled that.
I am so here for this. Yeah, because he does it off screen.
Off screen, you just hear it yelled. That one is so good.
So good. Everyone's enjoying the sun now. They're having some fun in the lake. Sam and Mary are on the dock, and we find out now that the girl in this infamous picture that has caused this whole weekend is actually Mary. She says it was a mistake. Sam goes, well, why don't you tell Jen? And she's like, yeah, I could tell her and she'll believe me it was a mistake, but she's going to fucking hate me forever. And then the group is now trying to coax Jen to come into the lake and then just let loose and have a good time. So Jen finally steps foot in this lake and immediately freaks out because something brushes up against her feet. The boys are neck deep in this lake and they start to mock her. And then Buck, who's swimming with a hat on, swimming with a hat on.
I love Buck.
He gets pulled underwater and they all think he's just playing around. And then everything just comes up blood. And bro, it's all fun and games until Uncle Buck loses a foot. This group now panic swims to a wooden dock in the middle of a lake full of rabid beavers. Did I mention, Justin, that beavers tend to like chomp on wood? Yeah, they like to eat wood. They like to destroy wood. Just a thing,
They've been known to eat a lot of wood.
They need the whole group. They make it to the dock. Everyone but Jen. Jen takes off running. She's inside the cabin. She's trying to call for help. And we notice that these beavers are not only zombie beavers, but they are smart zombie beavers because they ate the phone lines.
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't calling no one and there's no cell service out here. It is just them and the beavers. The whole group now is on this dock and they're all going to die because these beavers are fucking destroying it. They're pulling through and they need a distraction. But before they figure out this distraction, they take off the dog's life vest and they wrap it around Buck's stump to help stop the bleeding. And then Sam, being the absolute piece of shit he is, throws this fucking dog right into the water. No hesitation, no seconds, no, let's think about this, nothing. Just says, fuck it. Grabs the dog, throws it into the water. Bye-bye, Poochie.
Ugh. All
I
right.
cannot wait for Sam to die, and I can't
Yeah.
wait for you to tell me when he dies, if he dies, and how he dies,
Oh, all
Justin.
right, let's go. But first of all, yeah, Sam, what a piece of shit. I mean, you're out there on a raft. Like, you're gonna throw your dog in there. I mean, I know it's not your dog, it was Zoe's dog, but like, what the hell is that? So anyway, like you said, like you see the poor dog swimming away, and you see the beavers just chomp this thing. Like, dog, we got a dog death. The dog is done. And at this point, the five of them jump and they swim, and they all make it back to shore. They all make it back to the cabin. And as that was happening, we still see cuts of Jen was having an absolute epic battle in the kitchen where this zombie is going at her. I mean, she is on top of this thing. This thing is going, her like legs are wide open. This zombie is going towards,
I
her.
got Justin. I think the beaver is the lesbian because
Yeah.
this beaver is trying to munch on Jen's beaver in the kitchen. A little beaver on beaver action, if you
My
will.
dear God, why did I know? I'm like, Sean's gonna make this so inappropriate. I was trying to see how subtle I was
I
trying to
don't
be.
make this inappropriate, dude. The movie does it itself.
All right,
Go ahead.
fair enough.
Tell me about the next scene.
All right, so anyway, so she stabs this thing through the neck. Everyone is back. Everyone is back there. Now it is nighttime, and we are surrounded by beavers. This is so freaking incredible because you literally see like the beavers surrounding the house. I love this so much, and they're all just standing in the kitchen, and this beaver is like half torn apart, but it's like still moving around, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. But Mary suggests that maybe the beavers are on steroids, and I'm pretty sure you even hear one of
She
them be
goes, "Do
like,
they look like baseball players?"
I was just saying, like, so ridiculously stupid. And Sam grabs it and just stabs the thing on the head, completely killing it, and like, let's go. So now they're all in the living room. We're trying to come up with a game plan, but Zoe is absolutely pissed at Sam for killing the dog. She is just letting him have it. And then she also says, you know what? Why don't we tell Jen what's going on and everything? And all of a sudden she's like, everyone else knows. And she tells Jen that Mary was the girl in the picture. So holy shit, it's a little awkward right now.
Dude, my heart breaks for Tommy right here.
I was gonna say they say everyone
When
knows.
she's like, everyone knows, and he's like, well, I didn't.
Yeah, so right there. So I mean, this group is falling apart. So obviously Jen didn't know, and poor Tommy, he's like, yeah, well, I didn't even freaking know. And at this point, Sam runs and decapitates the beaver's head. And this is like my favorite thing ever. He like throws the head outside to him and is like, "Is this what you want? Is this what you want?" Like so dramatic. And the
Tell me this
beavers,
scene didn't remind you of Here for Blood when he grabs the guy's head and
dude, no,
throws it out the front
100%.
door.
Like when he's like holding it and he throws it, like it was 100% reminded me of that. And we just see the beavers waiting for them up there. And anyway, at this point, like I said, Sean covered how Buck's lost his foot. They have it in a zip tie bag, and they're like, "We got to get Buck to the hospital. Like he is not gonna make it." So Tommy and Zoe are like, "All right, well, we're gonna go." And the other three, I guess, stay behind. I don't know why everyone, it's a good time to split up. So anyway, they get ready to head out there. They get the car keys and they go. We flash forward to the neighbors about the woman that Sean talked about earlier. And she's talking to her husband. She's like, "Hey, did you hear anything?" Like, no. And she's like, "I don't know."
Don't you skip over this.
Oh, God. She's basically like, "I don't know. Like, do you think you should like go check it out or anything? What do you think it is?" And I wasn't gonna say anything, but I mean, Sean's gonna correct me and tell me anything.
So she's like, "Oh my God, did you hear something like hooting, hollering, and yelling?" And he goes, "Oh, it's just those kids probably scissoring to Lady Gaga."
I knew Sean was gonna say that. I was like, just gonna,
What the
anyway.
fuck?
And basically, she says, "Oh, do you want to check it out?" And he basically is like, "You want me to go check out on these college girls like party?" He goes, "I might just have to stay
for protection."
Exactly. So basically, they just absolutely ignore it. And now we see the three of them driving. They're driving. They're trying to get out there. Poor Buck. A tree goes flying across the street. They're completely stopped. Poor Tommy, like he starts going on foot, and all of a sudden the friggin' beaver. These beavers, you see them, like they're chomping down the tree, and it lands on friggin' Tommy. Like I felt so bad for Tommy, man. He's literally gets trapped under the friggin' tree, and it's complete chaos right now. But that redneck, Smith with a Y, he comes down, blasts his gun. He rescues Zoe. She's like, "Hey, get my boyfriend." She grabs Buck. They go down there. Pretty sure he even reminds her, "I thought I told you to put some clothes on and cover up." He still tells her to cover up.
Can I bring something up about Tommy real quick that I noticed? And it was right around this scene and it clicked into my head.
Yeah.
I go, Tommy trying to be a leader and trying to help Buck reminds me a lot of Chris Hemsworth, who plays Kurt in A Cabin in the Woods. Now that I think about it, they have the exact same wardrobe on, and they both die trying to save someone else while going for help. They both can't keep traveling the way they're going, so they get out because the road's been blocked. It's fucking so dumb similar. It's crazy.
Also, dude, like, so the first time I saw Zombeavers, I don't think I saw the movie that I'm going to talk about in a second. Did you recognize Tommy, where he's from, like, right away? The second I saw him this time on the rewatch, I was like, oh my God, like, how did I not know that guy?
Fuck. He's from.
We covered it, and I'm obsessed with it. It's like one of my favorites ever. And it's a controversial horror movie where people love it or hate it, and I'm like obsessed with it. Like, it's like
I'm
one of my
drawing a blank
favorites.
right now because I looked at it the other night because I was like, where is he from?
Dude, so all right, so it came out the
Right.
same year as Zombeavers. He is in It Follows. He is the boyfriend. Tommy's the
Yes,
boyfriend
yes.
of the girl who takes it in the car and everything and gives her, passes it on to her. The second I saw this movie, I was like, holy shit, that's the guy from It Follows. But all right, anyway. So now we're back to the cabin, and they are boarding this up. So we got a Night of the Living Dead like homage right here. They're just boarding everything. And this is like my favorite thing ever because they're boarding all this stuff. And I'm pretty sure it was Mary like yells at him. She's like, you
She
know
goes,
what?
don't you know beavers munch wood?
Yeah. Beavers are supposed to munch on wood. And he's like, well, excuse me, I'll just line this whole entire thing in like sheet metal. I'll just
Because I got fucking lows out back.
Yeah, and you literally see like a beaver like go through the window and like bite the wood. It's my favorite thing ever. And then we go back to the driving scene where Smith is driving with them, and he's basically talking about like beaver fever of like the 70s caused by the Giardi virus, and he's like, "How you guys
You
feeling?"
know
And
that was a
most
real thing.
Yes, I did. And he's like, "Oh yeah, the Giardi virus mostly causes like diarrhea and stuff. Do you guys have diarrhea?" And they're like, she's like, no. He goes, "Okay, well, you're pretty good, but whatever the hell these beavers have, like I ain't seen anything like this at all." They get to the cabin. Unfortunately, this beaver's everywhere right now, and they can't get in because it's all boarded up. And Smith is just blasting beavers. So the three of the people inside the house are looking out at them. And they're like, you know what, let's go to the neighbor's house. So they just narrowly escape, make it to the neighbor's house. And we see, once again, we see the phone lines are absolutely chomped up. We see the guy is just laying in a pool of blood. He goes upstairs, and we see that the other neighbor is also dead. And we go back to the cabin now where Mary is reading a book about beavers, and Sam is just being an absolute dick about this whole entire thing. It's just like I don't
I've
I,
never wanted to punch someone in the
I
face so bad in my life.
hate this guy
For
so
him to
much.
sit there, Justin, and
Oh,
go, listen, guys, when we get out of here, we can all sit down like adults and we can discuss why you two find me so attractive.
I wanted, dude, like that line. Like I thought, like you at first you think like he's gonna say something like
Like we can sit down and figure this out.
admirable.
Let's just get out of here alive.
Exactly. Like he's a complete asshole. And but then it does, they all start arguing. And one of his lines, I love it so much. It's like my favorite line ever. He's literally like, we can't turn it. He says it's so dramatic. He's like, we can't turn against each other. This is exactly what the Beavers would want. Just hearing that in a movie, like I love this movie. I don't have words. Like that was like the greatest line delivery ever. And back at the neighbor's house. Now, they're talking about neighbors. They just see everyone's dead and everything. They're in the kitchen with Zoe, and Zoe's got like Buck's foot in a bag, and Smith is eating chicken wings.
Dude,
He's
he's not
literally
just eating it, dude. He's like making love to
love
it.
to these chicken wings, and he's like, "Oh, you want a chicken wing?" And she's like no. And they're talking about the foot and everything, and then, like he just keeps like asking her if he wants if she wants like chicken wings, while she's panicking about like, hey, we gotta get Buck there, we gotta save his foot and everything.
He's like, hey, you put that foot directly on ice? He's like, kill the skin tissue. And she's like, well, should I wrap it in a towel? He's like, well, depends on how long that foot's been like that. I mean, I guess. And she's like, well, like 5 or 6 hours this afternoon. And he's like, well, if we get to a hospital within the hour, I guess hypothetically they could probably just reattach it while he's eating the chicken wing. And he's like, yeah, if it was me, I just chuck it, say fuck
Yeah,
it.
he was not helpful at all. So meanwhile, we're going back and forth between the cabin and the neighbor's house. When we go back to the cabin, and shit starts to get wild. We see, I guess Mary just thought it was a good idea. I guess everyone thought it was a good idea just to go to sleep, and all of a sudden we see Jen walk in. I didn't know what the hell's going on. This is a dream or not, because Jen starts going right to the bed and like starts straddling on top of Mary, and you're like, holy crap! Like, what is even going on? Like, she starts like grabbing her hands and like gets very sensual. Like, you're like, all right, is this like a random lesbian scene thrown in here? And Mary's basically like, hey, like, I love you. You're my friend. Like, this is not like I don't
She
like you
even
like
says
this.
something to her where she's like, you're not mad that Sam cheated. You're mad
Yeah,
that it was with me.
she literally think, ugh.
She literally thinks Jen is in love with her because earlier on in the movie, when they're all sitting down and they're eating popcorn, she says something like, "Oh, maybe we should just make out again." And like Mary looks like she's there for it. And Jen's like, "Well, there's no boys here to make jealous, so it wouldn't be that much fun."
Exactly. So it actually makes sense for a second. You're like, oh my God. All right. So I get it. Like she's upset because she's actually in love with her. But that's not what's happening at all because she starts transforming. What is she transforming into? She is transforming into a beaver. She literally, her teeth fall. Like first you see like her hands, like grabbing her hands, and you see like the fingernails popping off and like the claws coming out. And then you see her teeth fall out with buck teeth.
Dude, honest to
Like
God, I thought this was a dream sequence for a second.
I had no clue what was happening. I'm like, clearly this movie's already batshit crazy. Obviously, the people aren't going to turn into zombies. Like that's a little too crazy. No, that happened. Sam runs in and clubs her. She goes flying. We go back to the neighbor's house for a second, where they're still working on Buck's foot. And as this is happening, it's happening everywhere. We get Zombie Buck. He attacks Smith and like picks him up and is like holding Smith up. And he is like biting Smith's face off. He is like eating Smith's face right now. So we got Zombie Buck eating Smith's face while Zoe grabs the gun. She is trying to shoot at him. She shoots him. And then she is chased
fucking Smith right through the face.
right through the face. She blasts him through the face. Now she is being chased. We got a chase scene over here. She runs. She hides into the bedroom. We go back. This is just getting chaotic. We go back to the cabin. We see Jen now. They lock her into the bedroom and board her up. But she has a friggin' tail. She is
This thing
holding
is
on to
massive.
she is holding on to the door that is boarded up. And like she is like bouncing now. And her tail is just slapping everywhere. Like a massive tail. Absolutely insane. Meanwhile, now Zoe is attacked by the freaking neighbor woman that is dead. She rises up. She's a Zombeaver person. I don't even know what you want to call it. But Zoe is an absolute badass. She runs. She jumps through the window because as we learn in Leslie Vernon, there's always people jumping out of windows in the second story. That's what you do. And anyway, back to the cabin now. We have Whack-A-Mole. Sam
Dude,
and Mary.
I shit you not, Justin.
It-
My exact notes for this scene was Sam and Mary trapped in the room after Jen turns and they're smashing all the beavers coming through the floor with the baseball bats is nothing but a giant game of whack-a-mole.
They are playing Whack-A-Mole. It is the dude, like I don't know, my heart flooded. I had so much fun with this movie. Like the things are popping through and they are clubbing them like you would play Whack-A-Mole game. Like that is happening in this movie with fucking Zombeavers. And of course, as this all calms down and everything, we see Sam go to the bathroom and everything, and like Mary comes in and they think it's a good time. She tells him to take his shirt off and everything. You know, it happens tons of times in zombie movies. Like you gotta like
you gotta check someone for bites. Understandable.
So it's an understandable scene. It starts off understandable. You know what? Like take everything off. We gotta see if we're bitten, if we're infected. They think it's a good time, you know, to have some sex and everything. So as they start going at it, we see a beaver in the other room bites like the electrical cord, bites a freaking plug and starts a fire. So now the freaking cabin is on fire. We see them back there that's going at it. Jen in her zombie.
I love
form,
Jen so much.
She comes through the floor and bites him.
Bites his dick off. She bites his dick off, Justin.
There we go.
Just
Okay, I just said
she bit his dick off. Jen has the ultimate retribution in this entire movie. She goes from being down and out, damsel in distress, cheating boyfriend, helpless, no one likes her, everyone's against her, the whole 9 yards, to becoming this badass zombiever and ripping this guy's dick off.
And this also just bothers me that two of my favorite ridiculous, stupid horror creature features of all time both have that biting scenes off, because this also happened in Black Sheep, and that's also one of my top elite dumb horror. So it kind of bothers me. Like I'm like questioning myself that two of my favorite ridiculous movies ever both have that in the scene.
Do you have a fetish? Do I need to talk to Mrs. Weathers?
I know. I'm like kind of questioning. I don't know if I need therapy or not, but like, I mean, we can talk this over another pod, maybe another discussion pod. We'll schedule one, an emergency one for me. But anyway, this podcast is so out of line this time. We see the cabin's on fire, but Zoe, in a complete badass, she drives the freaking truck, smashing through the wall. Mary jumps right in. They're driving out, but now we got Zombie Smith with a Y is out there, and he's
taking aim
at them,
looking down the scope. Like
dude, they crash into a tree, but now there's a zombie bear. The freaking bear is like a zombie. And now we see Buck. Everyone's coming alive. We got zombie Buck Beaver, zombie Beaver Buck. I don't even know what you want to call them, but they're all coming back over. They're all running over. We got zombie Jen just jumping on top of the thing. They're dodging falling trees. They're driving. They gotta stop now because the tree's down. Like they escape all this. And she's telling Mary, like, whatever, like we gotta continue on foot. Like, this is okay. Like, we're gonna get through there. And we see that Mary took a gun from the department.
Yeah, the glove
And
department, the glove box.
box, sorry. Sorry. Sick flare up. The glove box. Yeah, she went to the department store where the gloves are. Anyway,
She
from the
stopped by
glove-
Sears real quick.
Yeah, they had made a quick pit stop. So from the glove box, she grabs the gun, and we see them walking now. It's just them two walking down the street, and she points it at Zoe. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is awful. And she's like, and Zoe's like, no, like I'm not bitten.
I'm not bitten.
Okay.
This is all glass. This is
Yes,
I just
well,
went through a fucking window.
Exactly. I jumped through the window. That's why I'm bleeding. And as this is happening, Mary just starts freaking turning. She just like starts like, her eyes turn crazy. And Zoe, without hesitation, just grabs the axe. She axes her right in the friggin' head, kills her. She is walking away down the street, covered in blood. Absolute badass final girl. Like, just the aesthetics of the scene is so incredible. She just survived the craziest friggin' night ever. And it's so badass. Thank God there's a truck coming. You would think that's a good thing. She
It's
is
Joseph
so
and
excited.
Luke.
She waves it down, and it is unfortunately the two guys you see in the beginning, and you hear him say, "Hey man, you see that girl right there, right?" And once again, this dude's just phone up texting. He's like, "Yeah, I see her," and he literally just like, "Yeah, I trust you," and smash runs her over. Explosion, just boom, body parts everywhere. The end. But there is a quick post-credit scene. I don't know if you see it because it seems like you always get turned. Do you see the scene with the bees?
Yes.
Yeah,
I have that in fun facts.
Yeah, I was gonna say then you do see like a post-credit scene of a bee feeding on a Zombeaver, and then it kind of like flies back to the hive as a complete Zombeaver. And we even do get some, we get some what do you call it? Those
Get some really fun post credit, the outtakes.
Yeah, you get some cool outtakes and everything. I mean, who doesn't love outtakes? But the end, Sean, you want to talk about it? What'd you rate this? How do you feel about this? What do you got?
Justin has been hyping this movie up since before the podcast was even thought of.
Yes.
During my first watch, I felt like it was just going to be your typical B movie garbage, but I was proven wrong the second the film started. The dialogue was easy flowing with comedy mixed in. The practical effects were spot on, and when they used CGI, they poured the cheese on with it, almost like they didn't even try to hide the fact how low budget the CGI was. The acting far surpassed all my expectations, and I am now fully convinced that every horror movie ever made with a buck in it, I will fully relate to. This movie is a rock solid 8 and a must watch to anyone who enjoys the horror and good time, some laughs, and some titties. Must watch.
Let's go. All right, that is so awesome. Obviously, if I pick this, everyone knows how much I freaking love this movie. I'll even go as far as just a quick story. After I first saw this a million years ago, I went and told everyone at work it was the greatest movie ever. We have a couple that works with us, and they believe me. They don't really quite understand when I say something's I get excited a lot of times because they went home and watched it, and then they came in the next day and accused me of being on drugs and asking me what the hell was wrong with me. Mike and Chrissy, they did not enjoy Zombeavers. They thought when I said it was the greatest movie ever, they don't understand my rating system. Not everyone gets me. So anyway.
This is in the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, this is an absolute elite stupid horror movie, like just stupid creature feature over the top. I love these kind of things. Like I remember seeing the movie called Mosquito that had Gunnar Hansen in it in the 90s. After seeing that, I was in love with all these kind of things. Black Sheep, love it. I give this a 9 out of 10. And once again, that is just like, obviously, like he said, it's not the friggin' Da Vinci Code. For what this is, it crushes it so much. If you want to just laugh and have fun and have mindless, stupid comedy and horror, this is like the greatest thing ever. And that's going to take me right to the tagline because this is my favorite tagline in horror history. Did you see what the tagline is? It's so simple. It just literally says, you'll all be damned. So simple.
What do beavers will, Justin?
I love it.
They build dams.
I love it so much. Oh, you got any fun facts or anything else?
I do have a fun fact. The fact that this is a 4.8 out of 10 on IMDb is an absolute shame.
People don't get it, man.
This is also John Mayer's feature film acting debut, and the post credit between him and Bill Burr is absolutely amazing. Personally, I love the fact when he's like, strangled my dick with an electrical cord once, and he's like, "What? How'd you do that?" And he's like, "Well, I had a job with one of them spinny signs, and I put some Christmas tree lights on it, hoping to get a raise." And he goes, "Well, what'd you do? Like one of those fucking flip behind your back, pull it up by your taint, and it strangled your dick?" And he's like, "Yeah, something like that. Have my dick in a rear naked choke." He's like, "Well, what kind of workers comp do you get for that?" And he goes, "Oh, you just get fired."
Dude,
Like
like, yeah.
the back and forth between those
Dude,
guys is amazing.
The cameos. I mean, come on. This had Bill Burr in it and freaking John Mayer, unrecognizable, the freaking singer. Like, this is ridiculous.
Also, 9 different people were used in the puppets for the Zombeavers. Phyllis Katz improvised a fair share of her dialogue for the scenes in which she's talking to the girls. If you don't know who Phyllis Katz is, it's Mrs. Gregerson, the one who's like, "My daughter's an absolute tramp." Like that whole scene, Justin,
It,
amazing.
it's
I
so
love when
good.
they let actors and actresses just kind of like free will, just ad lib. Makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite fun facts in this movie, I don't know if you saw this, Justin.
What do you got?
The Backstreet Boys are giving a cast credit for playing the Zombeaver bear. And it's unclear if it was one of them or all of them.
So ridiculous. Like, this is so ridiculous.
We get the body count in this movie is 10 humans, 2 dogs, 1 bear, and 1 deer.
Oh, I love it. I had these two. Oh, that is so good.
At the end credits, in regards to animal cruelty, the statement reads as follows: no animals were harmed in the making of this film, although the bear did receive a purple nurple. Not our fault, he started it.
Even that's good.
And then, like Justin said earlier, there is a post-credit scene in which a bee feeds on the corpse of a zombeaver. This bee flies back to its hive. The result, zombies.
So
That's
so
all I
good.
got. You got anything?
You pretty much, I had every single thing of that, but I just said, like, I just love it that the guy from It Follows is in it. Do you know that Mary was in Dumb and Dumber 2?
Was she
I don't,
really?
dude, I don't, did you see Dumb and Dumber 2?
It's been so long. I
Yeah,
think
and
that was
all
one of
this
those. I watched it once and then
same. Like Dumb and Dumber is like one of my favorite movies ever. Obviously, they waited way too long for the sequel, and it was so stupid. But she literally was Lloyd Christmas's freaking daughter in that movie. Like it, but and Courtney Palm just killed it as Zoe. Absolutely love her.
absolutely
She's
killed it.
such a badass. Like she's so freaking cool. Um, yeah, pretty much. Honestly, every single thing else you covered, I think we're good.
All right. Shout out to Roger, real quick. The box office gross worldwide for this movie. Justin, do you want to take a guess?
Oh, jeez, I have no clue.
Give me a guess. Give me anything. What do you think this movie made worldwide?
Oh God, it could not have been much at all. Like $100,000.
54,985.
All right, yeah. See, I guess even too high. I was gonna
That's
say
such a shame.
that's so bad. Oh my God. Do people
People
not want to have
people
fun?
did
Like,
not understand what they were watching back then.
it's called Zombeavers, people. Like, let's not overthink this, man.
Hack stab slash. That about wraps it up. I'm Hacky. This dude right here.
Just Justin.
We hope you had a great time, and we're looking forward to many more episodes to come. Till then, we out.
Peace.